So you think you're going crazy. I get it. It is a dynamic and destructive and beautiful process when you start to come into yourself. And it can be very challenging, especially if you have never experienced this happen to anyone else before, such as myself, and therefore you don't really know what's happening to you, and that can be extremely terrifying, especially when everything that is and surrounds you feels so uncomfortable and not right. And you feel the need to make all of these big changes in your life, but you also feel so connected to all of the things that are a part of your life. And so it makes it hard to let go of these things, and also not knowing what or who you are yet, and still trying to figure out what you do want. And sometimes it can feel like I don't belong here anymore. And yes, this is true, but it's nothing that you can't change or fix or evolve to better suit you. So if your environment and the people around you are feeling very uncomfortable and draining, it could just be because they are not aligned with this new version of you. And that can be incredibly difficult to come to the understanding of, because for a lot of us, this is all we have ever known. And to step out of that is to step out of all knowing and step into unknowing and unknown. And this can be very scary, especially if you're going through it alone, which is why it is so important for you to find a community or someone that you can either watch go through and explain certain things to you to help keep you grounded and sane, or of course better case is to find someone that you can call a friend and stay close to and talk to about the way that you're feeling, because talking it out with others is always more beneficial than trying to understand everything just with just yourself. It is always better to have a community or a network to be able to bounce ideas off of and share insight, because other people who are also going through really big life transitions have a lot of insight into how they got through it too, and they can help you get through it as well, because it is incredibly scary and everything that you are feeling is completely valid. However, that doesn't mean that you don't belong here anymore, because you do. It just might mean that you have to make some changes, or you have to be open to allowing changes to happen. Because as long as you're open minded and you're open to the possibility that things may go differently than you may plan, or that maybe your current life isn't as fitting or as aligned as you always thought, and you may start to feel extremely lost. And this is where a lot of people start to make very rash decisions that can alter the rest of their lives, such as running away or quitting their job or ending relationships, which all may be a necessity to the rebirth of your new life. So even though people around you may say that you're going crazy, or that you're making bad decisions, or that you're falling apart, or anything like that, that might be true in their reality, but in your reality, you are just making room for better and more aligned things to come in. And so that you won't have to feel as uncomfortable as you were before. And you are able to be your true authentic self without feeling like you're going to disappoint or make others upset. Because a lot of us keep a lot of things inside, or do certain things, or act a certain way because we know those around us are going to have judgments about what we're doing. And that feels more uncomfortable than being happy, so we submit to what others think is best for us. And that's not to say that they don't have good intentions, because they do. They do have good intentions, which is why they are telling you to get back on the path. Because that's all they know. All they know is the path. And they know that you have to stay on the path in order to survive. But once you realize that life is not just about survival, and you start to come off of that path, others may think that you are endangering yourself. And they might try to help you by closing you back in the box or putting you back on the path. But if you stepped off of the path, that does not mean that you need to get back on it. That means that we need to explore all of the paths in front of us and choose the one that feels most aligned. And it's never the path that you began on, because if that path was correct and aligned for you, then you would have never stepped off of it to begin with. And sure, the new paths are unknown and scary, and they may feel like they're wrong. But if you are called to do it, and if it feels right, and not with just your mind but your heart, then that is the path that you need to take in order to fulfill your deeper purpose and true alignment. And so it comes to having to look at the world with new eyes and listen to what people say, but you don't have to do everything that they recommend or that they tell you to do, but you can take into consideration all of your options. And that's the beautiful thing about it, is you have so many options. And there may be more than one right path. It might just be about which one you are ready for at this current moment. And if an opportunity is to see itself to you, know that these things do not happen on accident, and the opportunity wouldn't reach you unless you were ready. So just know that any opportunity that feels good and aligned and may seem a bit out of reach may just be the key. But I'm here to assure you that you're not going crazy, you're not losing your mind, you're not a bad person, and you're not ruining your life. Instead, you're trying to fix it. And you're trying to fix yourself. And that is beautiful. And there is nothing crazy about that. And I know that it feels like you're going crazy. I know that. But you're not. You're simply more aware to what is happening around you instead of being blind to certain things. And yeah, seeing everything that there is to see is not always glamorous. Sometimes it is tragic and horrible and excruciating, but it is essential, and you can do this. Always love.